few short videos over the last couple of weeks. Quite a bit on at the moment for me. We are back to chat with whoever is keen to listen and have a chat. No stress, no one has to stay here and have a listen. For those who have not seen me before, I am a metaphysical thinking guy. So pretty much I believe at the core, each individual is in charge of their own reality. So what you do put out is what comes back. Quite an optimistic thinking person I am, quite positive. I like to continue to work on that. So we will wait for a few people to jump on live before we dive in. So if you're watching the recording after, feel free to move forward past the next couple of minutes if I'm waiting a little bit too long for you, and then we'll dive into what I'm discussing tonight, which will be relevant to what's going on at the moment. A little bit of sound clearing. Nice pure vibration. Clear the air. Start the talk. A little sing bowl. Some nice clear breaths to start the chat. Welcome those who have just jumped on. Jamie, how you going? Oh, well, I'm Craig, mate. Nice to meet you. I'm from downtown Melbourne, Australia. Flynn, how you going, mate? Yeah, so just a little bit of breathing to start things off. For those who have not seen me chat before live, my name is Craig. I hail from down under, Melbourne, Australia, been my whole life. And I am what you would term a metaphysical thinking individual. What does metaphysics mean in a nutshell? It is basically that, oh, there you go, Jamie. Nice to know that, buddy. Yeah, I'm just someone that believes that what we think has a massive effect on our lives. So what we're putting out there actually does make a big difference to how our lives transform and can be transformed. So, you know, I'm very much a person about self-empowerment, about your attitude goes a long way to creating a better environment for yourself, a better life for yourself. So if you're an optimistic thinking person, if you're someone that believes that, you know, no one's told me that I have a say in what's going on in general in life, maybe metaphysics is something to start diving down that rabbit hole and, you know, chatting with people that have like-minded ideas like myself. Exactly, Jamie. Life is what you put into it, mate. It is that simple, all right? But at the end of the day, it's not so simple. Even though it is simple, it gets more and more detailed as you go along. But look, I generally talk about how I see life, a lot of the different ideas I have for people to realise. Yeah, no worries, Flynn. A lot of people, you know, don't know where to start, don't know how to actually come up. Yeah, my favourite symbol's the unk, my friend. We are, mate, we are. And we're a part of it. X Blue Eyes, we are all a part of this, right? Like, basically, life is life, but we're a part of it. We've found ourselves here living a human existence. And I like to believe that we chose to be here. I like to believe that, you know, we have a say in what's going on. And if we've chosen to be here, basically, shouldn't we be taking it as serious as we can. OP Ferg, how you going, mate? There's your shout out, eh? Look, attitude in life for me, and look, with everything I talk about, my attitude is, you know, what I put out's what I get back. Taking ownership of what I'm doing, being the most authentic person I can be. It's not about a person listening to someone else and saying, I'm going to copy exactly what they're doing to get the answers for me. It's about an individual sitting down, having a good hard look at how they're acting and taking ownership of their own life to transform things in the way that improve your life. You know, I'm a big believer that what is happening in your world is a reflection of what you believe about yourself on the inside. That's metaphysics. You gotta look on the inside. You gotta take ownership of who you are, and stop passing the buck. So many people go, oh yeah, but I don't have a say in it, and things happen outside my control, and I really don't, you know, I don't know why they happen, but hey, you know, they happen. You have a say in it. You actually are more in charge of what's going on than what you realize as an individual. And myself, I mean, I don't have to be here doing a YouTube channel. I'm not making any money from this. It's something that I've wanted to do. I've wanted to pass on a lot of the things that I've learned over my, you know, 36 years of, from when I first was awakened around the metaphysical way of thinking with life, and that individuals have, you know, a say in their own life, you know, that you can change things for the better. You can certainly change things for the worse as well. But at the end of the day, you're in charge. And I believe that, you know, what you think, what you say, and how you act are the three main things that you do that create what you have reflecting to you in your world. That's metaphysics. But look, tonight, I love my natural stones, right? I'm holding one tonight. This is a little bit of pyrite, right? So crystals is what other people call it, but they're natural stones, semi-precious stones, if you will. I've loved natural stones ever since, you know, I discovered them in my life in my early 20s. Life is frequency and vibration and colour. It's all these things combined into one. Different colours hold different levels of frequency and vibration. Science has proven that. Science has proven that little natural stones hold a singular vibrating level of sound or frequency or vibration, or however you want to look at it. They've proven that. But they haven't proven the metaphysical side of it, that can actually help us learn certain things, right? Natural stones, for me, help connect. They're a tool, right? They're a tool that basically we can use to awaken things and help us clear and deal with things that are going on in our own life, right? Natural stones hold constant level of vibration. Human beings, we go up and down like yo-yos, right? Like one day we're feeling great, next day we're feeling crap, depending on the experiences that we create for ourselves and the things that we've gone through, the traumas that we've suppressed, all types of amazing experiences that are the human existence. But in a lot of cases, we have a lot of trouble dealing with the issues that we carry through life, dealing with things that, or holding on to things that we really shouldn't be holding on to, but they block us from moving forward and letting better things come into our life. And I've found over the years, many, many years of wearing and working with natural stones, is that working with your intuition is your first thought that comes into your mind, that you wear a stone when you feel like wearing it. It's your higher self sending a message to say, hey, that area of vibration that this particular stone works on, we need to do some clearing in that area of ourselves. I believe all stones work on all different levels of frequency and vibration. I think that natural stones can actually clear a lot of the issues that are going on in our lives. But I also believe they're teaching us to be able to do it on our own, because they are just a teacher. They're a tool. At the end of the day, when you clear something or you let something go, you need to take ownership of that, because you, at the end of the day, are the person that's actually solved the problem. Let go of the thing that you've been hanging on to since you were a child. You know, you might have gone through a traumatic experience that you just weren't able to let go of. But as an adult, you've been basically shown that, hey, I've remembered that instance, and you know what? From an adult perspective, I can now deal with that and let that go, right? A natural stone does that. So I want to talk about a couple of stones and what they're about, because I think they're relevant to what's happening in the world at the moment. All right. This is pyrite. Pyrite is basically works with people's energy. It works with teaching us to raise our energy when needed. It helps to open individuals up to the understanding that you have unlimited energy, even if you might not realize this for yourself. The energy that you can access within yourself at different times is there to be accessed. You know, the universe and the understanding of life itself, there's more to basically the human being and the existence of yourself than you realize. When you feel really good, often you feel very energized. When you feel very down, often you feel very lack of energy. It's about understanding what's making you feel that way. Appreciate you, but yeah, it's about understanding who you are. What are the things that you can access? What are the things that you can change about yourself? Where can you learn about how to deal with your own level of understanding about life and how it works for you? All right. So the message that pyrite has always shown me is that you have more energy and more abundance of energy than you realize. And it's about seeing, often you find when you wear pyrite or it's around you, where you carry a piece in your pocket, that you'll get information about what you can do to lift your energy levels, because maybe there are certain things that you are doing in your life that are blocking the ability of your energy to be at a higher level. It's very hard to function as a human being when you've got lack of energy. All right. So pyrite. Hey, Angela, how you going? It's very difficult to actually take on anything in your life in a positive way if you're lacking energy. Pyrite, or in the gold terms, it's called fool's gold, but it's an amazing little natural stone, pyrite, beautiful little stone. Can find it in jewelry too, cut into pendants and earrings, and easy to wear, but I love the reflection of the stone. Pyrite. I'm going along very well. Angela, enjoying having my Sunday night chat, which I do fairly regularly. I mean, some Sundays, you know, things come up and you can't actually, don't have the time to do it, but life's pretty good. Life's pretty good. I hope everything's going well with you. So I'm just going to go through a couple of stones that I think what they do is relevant to what a lot of people are going through at the moment. So lack of energy and tiredness at the moment, I hear that around a lot of people. And basically there are reasons why you are blocked in that space. There is a lot of things energetically going on the planet at the moment. It is clearing a lot of low-level vibration from itself. I think there's a bit of a transition going on the planet from a spiritual perspective at the moment, but we're a part of the planet. Human beings are a part of the planet. So when the planet starts to actually, you know, release a lot of old energy, let's say, which I believe it's doing at the moment, we can feel that ourselves. We can feel very flat and very, very de-energized. Pyrite can help us work with our own energies around that space. Sometimes emotions can also affect us on a daily basis, you know, like emotional stress and so on, and not being able to feel like we're in control of the emotions through different things that are going on in our lives. And sometimes we need help with understanding or taking control of our emotions, getting some more emotional stability. There is a stone that helps people work on emotional stability, and that would be this one right here. So this, you can see how smoky that looks. That's smoky quartz. So an interesting little cut stone. This one, I've had this for a long time. Smoky quartz, you can see the inclusions inside it, but smoky quartz is quite a beautiful stone. In the sunlight, you can see the yellows and the browns and the golds all reflecting and flashing inside it. Really cool stone. Smoky quartz is about helping individuals understand that, you know, you can take control of your emotions. You can be more balanced with your emotions. With everything that stones teach us, with everything that crystals do for the human beings, basically, they are very pretty stones, yeah. If nothing else, they're pretty stones, Angela. But they help us in a positive way as well. When you feel out of control with your emotions, it can destroy many aspects to your life, right? It can just throw things into total turmoil. So being able to understand why we feel out of control with our emotions is very important. So when I talk about individuals wearing, say, a smoky quartz and connecting with the emotions and of themselves and being able to take control of them, often the issue to why you feel out of control emotionally will reappear. And this might be a memory from something that's happened years ago. And then you have a new chance to actually deal with that issue. The stone is not going to deal with the issue for you. The stone will help you bring the issue that is causing the imbalance in that area to come back into the conscious mind, i.e. you have another chance to then let it go. I know that happened to me, but I'm not going to keep revisiting that. I understand it now from an adult perspective. Maybe it was something that happened as you were a child. Once you accept something that's happened, once you accept it and you let it go with love, that it was a learning situation, you let it go and let it be where it is, you won't have it coming up in the now. Traumas and things that we go through at times are held on to from when we're kids and adolescents, and things that we didn't really understand quite often because we don't have the tools to deal with them at that point in time. And we go through them to teach ourselves certain lessons. Once you become an adult, often when you've held on to something for that long, but when you get to see it from the adult perspective, it's much easier to go, okay, yes, that happened. I can accept it. It wasn't great at the time, but I've learned X, Y, Z from that experience, and I'm a better person because of it. So accepting it is much easier, right? And this is what natural stones do. They don't solve your problem for you, but they allow you to clear energy out of certain areas of your energy body and bringing back whatever it is that's causing the low blockage in that area of your energy field. That's what a natural stone does. So it clears low vibration by absorbing it. Suddenly your energy's flowing in that particular area, and i.e. memories can come back to why you've had that blockage, whatever it might be. That's how a natural stone works. All right. When you've had enough of wearing a natural stone, right? When you don't feel like wearing it anymore, take it off. Your intuition is saying we don't need to work on that space anymore. Take it off. Put it back in the jewelry box or in your collection of stones. Give it a cleanse. Cleansing a stone is simply allowing the stone to let go of the low vibration that it holds. Sitting a stone on a natural bed of amethyst will naturally absorb all the low vibration out of any stone. So a lot of people into crystals and working with crystals will have themselves a little natural bed of amethyst that they put their stones on when they want to recharge them, right? Nice and easy. Some people love to use the moonlight or sunlight or different energies around the planet to help cleanse and clear their stones so that their stones stay nice and clear and can keep absorbing low vibration. All right. So smoky quartz, connecting or understanding that your emotional self is out of whack somewhere and helping you to learn to get more balance in that space. So there's a lot of people feeling not really balanced at the moment, okay? Now, something that I've always believed I'm very, very good in, because I'm not too concerned about what people think of what I believe. I believe what I believe because I've proven certain things to myself. And that's what everyone should be, right? If you've proven certain things about life and you've proven certain things about, what goes on in your life, you basically believe it even more, right? Like, It's really, really simple, right? So if you have been told something, you can go, oh, well, I decide whether I believe what that person's saying. But when you go and experience it or have an experience yourself in that area and it happens to you, then you believe it 100 times stronger. So it's really, metaphysics is something that is real. It's something that, these are things that you can actually do. There are things that you can do to prove certain aspects to life for yourself. You don't have to blindly just believe what other people say. Before I talk about this stone, there's another stone I want to talk about. It's called marcasite. I don't have the sample here. It's somewhere in my home. I was having a look for it before, couldn't find it. Marcasite is the stone that works on a person's skepticism. Now, I'm not saying a person needs to get rid of being skeptical. No, I'm actually saying the opposite. A lot of people might be quite blown away, the ones that have listened to me for a period of time. I'm a very skeptical individual. So I don't blindly believe something that someone tells me because a book says that it's true, right? If something's real, I'm going to go out to prove it for myself, to myself. That's being a true metaphysical person. It's the spiritual science. I will go out there to see whether that is real or not. If I'm saying something to everyone, it is, or I'm expressing a belief, it's because I've proved this to myself. And many things in life, you can't prove them to someone else. You can only prove it to yourself. You can express that you believe something, but that doesn't prove it to anyone, right? Proof comes from grounding it, from experiencing it. Marcasite, it's almost like it's a bit of a speckle to it. It's a silvery grey stone, almost granite-y in look, quite hard. Marcasite is about working on finding a balance of skepticism. Some people in life are too skeptical, and so they stop themselves investigating or being open to hear any type of idea. Right? There's already been a couple on tonight, whether people noticed that or not. They were too skeptical to have a listen and hang out for a while. So when you close the door that hard, you often might find yourself missing out on something that could really benefit you and your journey that you're on. See, we're all on our own individual life journey, and you've all got pieces of the puzzle that you need to find to help your journey's path come together in the way that you want it to, because you've chosen to be here. You've chosen to learn what you need to learn. And sometimes when you're over skeptical, you can push opportunities away. I'm not saying that when you push something away, you never get another chance at it. You do, because your higher self will help you get to another point where there'll be another door open for another opportunity. But skepticism is about having a balance. You know, being skeptical, but not so skeptical that you don't allow yourself to open the door to check something out. And on the other side of the coin, not being too gullible that you believe everything that everyone says. Because how do you find yourself and find who you are within yourself when you believe what everyone says? And a gullible person takes very little to convince. So a balance of skepticism is extremely important. And if you're an individual that is having trouble seeing, you know, the forest through the trees at the moment, because there's so many different things going on out there around the world. There's so many different ideas. There's so many different concepts. People saying this is the way, that's the way. I'm very much about taking what you like, and I say this all the time, and throwing away what you don't like. When you listen to anyone, right? For myself, and I say this to all of you, please take what I say, take what you like, chuck away what you don't like. It's not that what I'm saying is not true from me. It's that you're at your particular point in life. There might be something within what I say over a live chat or a video that I do that answers a particular question for you and gets you moving in that way again down your path more positively. So always look to take what sits with you, chuck away what doesn't sit with you. All right? Really, really good belief and attitude to have in the space of your life. Now, we have this stone. And this stone here is called carnelian. Carnelian is the stone of Craig, optimism. This stone is about you being able to see, or for me it was anyway, very powerful in this sense, that when you go through an experience, in life, being the most optimistic person you can be with whatever has happened is the way, you know, you transform your world in a really positive way. It's being a glass half full individual, right? It's being glass half full. When you are glass half full, you always see the good in people. You always see the positive part of the conversation. You don't wipe something out because of a couple of negative things that you've come across, right? Being optimistic is part of understanding that what you do actually does make a huge difference in your life, right? Attitude is everything. Optimism is everything. You know, if you want good things to happen in your life, you have to be a positive, positive attituded person. If you think that you can act like a dick and you can actually have good things happen to you in your life by acting like a complete idiot, well, go forward and try it. But it doesn't work that way, because you're the person that actually creates what's going on in your own world. Your attitude actually is being put out there. Your words, your thoughts, your actions create what happens around you. Carnelian, the stone of optimism. So carnelian is about you becoming more glass half full. No matter what happens in your life, you have to see it from the most positive side, positive angle. If you do that, then you have a much better chance of transforming the things that are happening in your life into a positive creation for yourself. It's how you see your life that matters. It's how you react to what happens that matters, right? You have a say in every point in time. It's your life, right? It is your life. So carnelian was the last one I want to talk about, right, tonight. Basically, there's a lot of things going on in this world that people are freaking out about. Just how we're up in arms. There's all types of stuff going on. I mean, in America, buddy Donald Trump, and he's put out has a disclosure team that's about bringing forth extraterrestrial, information. They've had 3 dumps now from the Pentagon, War Department, if you're not aware of that. Basically, they've released previously classified videos which show anomalous objects doing crazy stuff. And you can read into that what you like, but there's a lot of things that have been hidden from the world for a long time that have been brought to the surface, and it's the same as an individual for me dealing with their issues, right? You can hide your crap for as long as you think you can, but eventually it's going to come out, right? And the world is releasing a lot of its crap. The world is taking a lot of its shit and it's coming back to the surface. I mean, look at the Epstein files, all that shit that's coming out. Look at all the people that have been doing bad shit, and all of a sudden it's all coming out. There's more shit coming to the surface in the world in the last 12 months than there's ever been. I think there's a lot more mind-blowing realizations that are coming down the tracks. I think that individuals could take a lot from the attitude of don't let yourself get caught up in the world stuff that's going on. Focus inwardly. Focus on who you are. Did you roast your nice, mate? Nice to see you, mate. It's been a couple of weeks since I've been on, but I thought I'd better jump on and have a chat. But the extraterrestrial stuff, which I think more and more people, even in my circles, there's more people that are talking openly about it, because the American government, they're having meetings and forums and all types of stuff. I just keep on keeping on, my friend. Attitude's everything. Attitude's everything, right? What you put out's what you're getting back. That's never going to change, right? Once you get on that road, that's how it is, right? But one of the things that really interests me at the moment that's going on is the disclosure stuff that's happening with the American people out there, with the task force that's going on in America. I'm sure, Roadstrom, if you haven't already seen it, mate, the 3 drops of videos from the War Department, which is the Pentagon in America. They've dropped 3 lots of videos on their website, which shows old classified videos of anomalous objects doing weird shit, and they can't explain it. They've admitted it. They're basically drip feeding disclosure to us all, a little bit at a time. And I think we've all got to ask the question, we know aliens are real. I mean, we've seen so much now, but they're not just doing it bang. They're drip feeding it very slowly. Why are they trying to, are they trying to slowly wake people up to a reality that's been there for 80 years? I think so, right? I'm one of the guys that will always say that, they've been hiding the truth from the world for a very, very long time. And whether it's because of fear of the reaction of all of us, or whether it's the, them trying to control a truth that gives them more power over us, who's to say? But I think there's a lot more groundswell now. I think it just keeps intensifying. I think the task force that Trump put together is actually making a bit of a difference. It seems that way. Steven Spielberg's movie Disclosure, went and saw that the other week, Roadstrom. I liked it, mate. Loved it. Steven Spielberg knows more than he's saying, no doubt about it. So yeah, I think that there's a lot of things going on in that space, and I think in the second half of this year, I think we're only going to get shown, and a lot more stuff will come out of the woodwork, that will get made privy to. I've got no doubt about that. I think that, there's some truths coming down the pipeline that, well, let's face it, a lot of people are probably going to freak out about. I for one won't freak out about those things. I'll be glad that they're finally opening the doors up and letting us know the truth about reality, because I think there's a lot of I don't think a government has the right to control and keep the truth about reality from human beings or from anyone in existence. I think if there's a bigger truth out there to be known, I think they should allow all of us to understand it so we can all talk about it as one, not a small group of power-hungry individuals keeping the truth to themselves, and, which seems to be the case about what's been going on for 80-odd years. So it's interesting stuff, right? But who knows? It's all speculation, isn't it? But there's a lot of things happening that just scream that. I don't believe in coincidences. A coincidence is not something that it just doesn't happen. They do. Oh, well, I like our music too, mate. Our art, well, wildlife, yeah, but our art, give or take the art, can't you? I think they'd like our music. I've got no doubt about it. Maybe they've got some cool music of their own, mate. I mean, I don't know, but I think we're the biggest and most interesting soap opera that exists in the universe. So they probably got a damn good laugh looking at us crazy bastards down here doing all types of crazy shit to each other. I've got no doubt about that. But look, I do think that, higher, if they are more connected, if they have been existing for a lot longer than our race, then yeah, true. Then I think they've got something to show us, and I think there'd be more chance they'll be positive and want to work with us than the other, because an advanced society is not a violent society. Our society has been violent in recent years and continues to still do that, and it just shows, Neanderthal behaviour. So any species that's built themselves up to a euphoric, technology level that's well surpassed from ours, probably has a lot of good things to talk to us about. So we can only hope that the truth comes out, but we shall see. I think the time is coming, but yeah, attitude's everything. And I don't, look, for me, recently done some really good, worked on some personal things around, attitude to certain things, beliefs that have come up that have been blockages, and been some really successful little manifestations in my own world recently of much more positive reflections. So I don't think there's a place that we get to where everything. I don't think life is made like that. I think that there's layer upon layer upon layer. What do they say about the universe? That it goes on forever. But then if there's multiple parallel dimensions, there's multiple frequencies, there's multiple parallel dimensions. I mean, the universe is outward, it's downward, it's sideways, it's backways, it's there's layer upon layer upon layer of life and existence that goes on forever. It's kind of unfathomable how big it is, and I think it's just about being honest with yourself and doing the best you can with what you got, and being open to new things that come along, and that's it. Just be your authentic self. But I've started to chat a bit more about my natural stones because it's something that I just love. Like that one, that's a pretty cool looking one. Piece of malachite. Malachite looks quite different before it's cut and polished, but little crystal ball there, malachite. Malachite is, when you look at it from a spiritual perspective, this stone works on the heart chakra center, but it works on your fears. Fears are things that hold people back. So if you're fearful to be more of yourself, or to do something in a certain area, or to be more of what you want, whatever it might be, fear can really just block you, right? And health and happiness goes along the line with that. I mean, when you have emotional distress, when you have things that mentally hold you back as well, that can affect your health and your well-being too, mate. And being more comfortable in your own skin, being not worried about things that are outside your control, understanding that you have more control than you realize. I mean, to realize that understanding for yourself actually makes you less stressed. Life to me, I'm not stressed about it, right? When the day comes where I'm passing away and I'm crossing over, I'm fine with that. It's, I don't have a fear of end of life because I know within myself we go on. So, most people do overthink life, mate. I mean, because the only thing that exists for any of us truly is right now. And if you're enjoying yourself now, if you're doing something that, makes you feel good, if you're passionate about X, Y, Z, whatever it might be, and that's what makes you tick, man, and you're doing that to the best of your ability, then why should you be worried about anything else? You shouldn't. But there is too many people out there trying to be people that they're not, trying to impress people because they think that's how they have to be. They're not listening inwardly, they're looking outwardly. And that's a big problem for a lot of people in society, right? But again, that's my opinion. If a person wants to live life by trying to be someone that they're not, trying to impress everyone because in a certain way, because that's how they think they're going to build their self-esteem, well, good luck with that path. It's a lesson that you have to go down to learn. But for me, the truth is, it's inward. It's, am I happy with who I am? I don't give a shit what other people think. I'm just going to be who I am, and the people that appreciate it, the people that don't. I had a couple of people tonight that go, oh, look at this cheap ass, having a chat. And I'm thinking to myself, well, you're talking about yourself there, guys, right? You're calling yourself amateur hour. Well, I'm not here making any money from this. I'm expressing this because I think if there's one or two people that like how I live life, that I can help, say, a younger person get back on the track and have a more positive life and stop themselves from, going down a path that isn't what they truly want for themselves. Mate, if there's a few people out there that appreciate what I'm saying and get something from it, great. I've helped my little bit, I've given back. I think that we're all connected with everything, It's not about being the most famous person in the world. It's about understanding that every single person on this planet is actually from the same place we are. We're all family, mate. Yeah, I know. It is. But I use the platform to speak my truth, you know. It's something that, you know, like I think I said to you early on, mate, that I just made a decision to do. And I basically tried to lock in as regularly as I can on a Sunday night, where I can be here to have a chat. If someone's struggling, they want to ask me a question, what my opinion is about it, come on, ask me a question, you know. Vent to myself, you know, it's all right. I mean, sometimes it's not as easy to find people that think in a different way to give you a different response that might help you get through that situation. You know, lots of things happen in life, and sometimes when you get told the same type of response that doesn't sit with you, it's tough to get a different response because so many people just go along with the initial response, right? You need to have people that think differently about things to, you know, find the right answer sometimes for certain situations, for certain people. So, you know, the way I think is quite different to how a lot of other people think, right? But there's still a lot of people out there that actually think similarly to myself. Metaphysics is not something that's 10 or 15 people are into. There's millions and millions of people that believe they create their own reality. No doubt about it. I still think that religion hasn't trumped, but, you know, as far as, you know, what I put out creates what happens to me, there's a lot of people out there that believe that. And I think the groundswell is happening because the more that people actually investigate this, the more people that investigate in their own life, they try thinking in a different way. They try to act in a different way, and then suddenly they find there's a different reflection going on in their own life. Then you're proving shit to yourself. Yeah, well, religion's just a book, mate, written by a lot of people that tried to have control over the masses, right? I'm sure there's some type of truth within those pages, but it's been messed up by people that wanted to have control over everyone. That's how I see it. And that's why I say the only truth you can be sure of is how you feel inside yourself. If you can't trust yourself in life, who are you going to trust, right? I mean, from what I think, we're connected with all that is. We're connected with Source. We came into this world as a baby. You know, wherever we came from, we all came the same way. We're all going to head out the same door. So we're all going back to where we came from. Whether we're going back to what's within us, whether we go back to a us that's bigger than who we are now, who's to say? But I know within myself and through my experiences that there's something, there's more. So whatever that more is, no problem. But while I'm here, I'm going to experience my life in the way that I want to experience it, and I'll listen to people and I'll help people if they want to hear how I see life. Sweet as, no problem. If they don't, on their way, talk to some religious dude that'll confuse the fuck out of them, right? That's just life. It's just life, you know. You did. So did I. You did, mate. What else have I got in my little bag of tricks here? A couple of crystals. How about that stone? Not a bad looking one, is that? Labradorite, that one's called. Bit of an egg. Yes. It's a beautiful deep coloured stone. That some of the stones that you get are just quite amazing, right? This little crystal, I've got to reset this, but I don't know if it's hard to see there, mate, but inside that stone is the reflection's too much. But there's a little phantom inside that stone. It's a pyramid phantom. See that there? Yeah, so it's got a little Terminator phantom inside it. Yeah. That's amazing. It's like a little ghost pyramid inside the thing. It's quite unique, that one. Like, I've had that for a while. But you know, attitude's everything, and I don't think that we can run away from the fact that, you know, whatever it is that we're doing in life, you know, you want to be the best version of yourself, not just for you, but for your family, your friends, your loved ones, your kids, you want to be the best example so they know how to go about taking on life, right? I mean, that's how I see it. I mean, they will still take the things that they like out of what they see out of us as parents, and they will chuck away the rest, and they will become their own person. But at the core, if they know that the truth is here within them, and they don't have to go searching for the truth, they just have to know. Oh, beautiful, mate. Your kids, your family, people that you come in contact with, being your authentic self is really important so that you can show them the example of who you are, so that the things that they like about what they see in you. And, family and kids, they don't learn from what you say. In general, they'll learn from how you act. It's more powerful. It's more grounding. So it's the action of being the best version of yourself. You can think really positively, but if you don't act really positively, it's not real because you haven't grounded it. It's that thought, you're saying it, and then being it. I was saying the other day, humans, the way to be the best human is to be the best human being. We're living in a three-dimensional world, right? We're living in a physical world. You need to be who it is you want to be. You can't just think and daydream all day. That's one part of it. You can come up with great ideas, but unless you start to put those ideas into practice by speaking the idea and then being the idea, how does it manifest itself? And that is manifesting your own reality. That's how people, oh, come on, Roadstrom. But that's how people become the best version of themselves. It starts with an idea, a dream, goes into an expression because you really like that idea, and I want to speak about it to see what other things happen, what reflection comes from me saying it out loud. And then when you start to do it, you're grounded in this world. That's it. That's all it is, right? There's not much more to it. So dreamers can come up with great ideas. Often dreamers don't follow through, right? That's it, mate. Do you not do the things that you love to do? I know you do, mate. I know you do the things that you love to do. And that's it. There's no other truth in life than that. But the fact that you never used to be doesn't matter either, because that was the past, right? You've let that go. You're living in the new Roadstrom now, and you're in the now. Whatever happened there doesn't exist now. Unless you keep doing those things in the now, then you create them now. But if you've learned from those things and you've created a better version of yourself now, then this is the you that is here now. That was the you then, but this is the you now. It doesn't matter about the past or the future. It matters about who you are right now. And now you're happy, yeah? But it's like everything, mate. It's keep growing, keep stretching, keep enjoying. There's no limit to where a person can get to. I think, when you come to the end of, when the energy of something you've been doing starts to dissipate and you go, I'm not as excited about doing that anymore, have a look for something else that might spark your excitement. Because that's how it works. You can go through your whole life being excited about a couple of things and just keep redoing them and enjoying them and all that type of stuff. But, if it wanes, then just pay attention to what's coming into your world, right? I mean, there's infinite levels of being happy. Who says there has to be one level of happiness and joy and excitement? Who says that? I mean, the only person that puts limitations on things are you and me. No one decides how happy you're going to be except for you. You know, no one decides how angry you're going to get except for you. I mean, they're your decisions, you know, your limitations. Beliefs can be changed. I mean, yeah, if you're enjoying the space you're in, it's like, you know, if the world is a creation for us to learn and experience, you might find a simulation deck that you're very excited about and you love doing that simulation over and over again. That's called reincarnation, right? Over and over again, you go through this because you love it. But at some point, it might come to a point where you go, I've had enough of that particular game. I might move on and do something new, right? Yeah, and kids do that, mate. Kids do that, you know. They're real. They bring you to a point where it's like, time to actually have a serious conversation with myself, you know. Because once you have kids, it's not just about you doing it for you anymore, right? Because you can be pretty lax when you're young and single, believe me. I know that too. But once you have a child, once you have that first child, then bang, what you do affects them as well. And so then there's a level of responsibility that comes into you and you say, well, I better pull my head in. I better start being an even better version of myself now because this affects my kids as well as me, right? So even though at the end of the day, your kids are individual beings that have joined your family here on Earth and so on, but they've come here to do their own things eventually too. And so eventually it's about accepting whoever they turn into, who they want to be, right? It's being open-minded enough and broad enough to say they might not be exactly like me. They might go into their own space, and in most cases that's what they'll do. If you bring them along like that and you encourage them to be whoever it is that they are supposed to be, they can turn to anything because they have the freedom and the love around them to actually, you know, step into that part of themselves that they are, the true them, right? And that's pretty amazing if you can bring kids along like that, because you just don't know what they can create and achieve in their lives, right? But at the end of the day, it is like you said earlier, mate. It's about being happy. It's about your kids being happy. If everyone's happy, you create very positive things. You have positive thoughts. You have positive words. You have positive actions. It all starts from the feelings that you have inside about who you are. If you're a good person, I am a good person. I'm doing the best I can. I want good things for my family. I want my kids to know that life's good, that they can create positive situations for themselves too. I mean, ever since I've been awakened to that understanding, I've felt very empowered about the fact that it's not I'm very comfortable with my kids to say, I know that their lives will be amazing and positive because they have control over their lives, not some imaginary being, right? That's right, mate. I mean, and you want them to take control of their own lives, right? And know that whatever they think and how they act, that's how it goes a long way to creating much more positive things for themselves. The earlier you can start them in that thought process of being a glass half full person, you know, what you guys think is what you create. And if they can get onto that early, they've got a massive head start over the rest of us. And I think that's the next generation coming through, that, you know, if we can help guide a lot of them to being their true selves, to really staying on that path of positive attitude, mate. But no, it sounds like everything's going very well in your part of the world, mate. I'm glad to hear it. It's very cold then. It was the coldest day of the year today in Melbourne. I think it only was 2 overnight or something. Got to about 16, 17 though. It was a sunny afternoon. A lot of fog in Melbourne at the moment. Very heavy. But, you know, there's, attitude and staying centered, mate, and having that belief in yourself. That's it. It's beautiful. What Well, you know what, mate? We've had a good chat, and we're gonna say goodnight because I think that's enough. Can't talk forever. Yeah, I reckon the weather would be changing up there too, mate. It's getting a bit warmer all the time up there, isn't it? Like generally. There you go. But your winters are pretty nice, right? That's probably the best time of the year. Brisbane winter, I would say. The humid part of the year is probably not so good. Yeah. All right. I will say goodnight, everybody. Thank you for hanging out. We've had a nice little chat tonight. I hope everyone has a great week. Stay positive. Keep looking to the skies because ETs are coming. On that note, Craigsworldrocks. So does yours, everyone, and that's the most important thing. Take care of yourselves. See you guys.